The European Union is allowing Britain's Prime Minister a new Brexit extension, this time until October the 31st. After a tense EU summit held until the small hours of Thursday morning, the leaders came to an agreement eventually, but issued a warning to the UK not to misuse the time.
This extension is as flexible as I expected and a little bit shorter than I expected, but it's still enough to find the best possible solution. Please do not waste this time.
I have to leave my job on the 1st of November this year, so my guess would be that we will have not a night session, because if we had, I have to leave the meeting at midnight.
Well, if Brexit wasn't already a horror show filled with gruesome ghouls and scary characters, it does seem that the new deadline for Article 50, the Brexit deadline, will be the 31st of October, Halloween. This was hammered out at a deal into the, late evening, the early hours of Thursday morning. We understand that there was an agreement to have a much longer extension being granted to the United Kingdom. However, it was the French and Emmanuel Macron that were the ones saying no, that they wanted a much shorter extension. Otherwise, they wanted the UK to, make some pretty big concessions, including giving up their seat on the European Commission while they remained a member state. They were told by Jean-Claude Juncker, the current European Commission president, that was definitely not going to happen. What it means, though, is that the United Kingdom will have to field candidates in the upcoming European elections. Theresa May arrived in Brussels saying she wanted an extension only until June the 30th. Now, it seems that with it running on into October and them having to put forward candidates for the European elections, there's a lot of people in her own party calling for her head. But as leaders were leaving the summit, everybody pretty much was saying this was the best deal possible, the best compromise that could be come to.
I know that there is huge frustration from many people that I had to request this extension. The UK should have left the EU by now, and I sincerely regret the fact that I have not yet been able to persuade Parliament to approve a deal which would allow the UK to leave in a smooth and orderly way. But the choices we now face are stark and the timetable is clear.
Thanks to this agreement, we preserve the well-functioning of the European Union, i.e. we fix the deal and all the consequences before the 1st of November, which will be the arrival of the new Commission. So for me, this is a good solution.
I think that in order to give greater leeway and room to the UK's decision-making process, the decision we've taken today is a good one.
But that's the extension we have at the moment. It's not the 1 year. It's also not the, couple of months that Theresa May entered into today's summit wanting herself. As usually with things in Europe, it's somewhere in the middle.
So, with the new deadline set, there's a host of options on the table for the divorce from the European Union. First off, Parliament can still adopt some agreement deal and leave the EU at any time, or it can do the complete opposite, revoke Article 50 and even cancel Brexit. 6 months could also be enough time for a general election or another referendum on Brexit. Well, the Prime Minister's next move today is to brief the House of Commons. That's happening Thursday afternoon. UK MEP Stephen Wolfe, though, believes this new delay is far from what the people in Britain voted for.
This is about the fundamental decisions of whether the people of our country should be asked to vote on something and our politicians take the exact opposite decision. Politicians over people, not people over politicians. I don't think it's what most people expected 3 years ago when they voted to leave, and I think it's going to cause an awful lot of upset and anger and huge disappointment in the political process and our politicians. One of the key fundamentals of leaving the European Union was that we would not be controlled by the European Union laws, and as a consequence we could even have our own laws which would diverge away from the European Union. A custom union doesn't do that. Secondly, we'd be able to negotiate our own trade deals. A custom union doesn't allow that. So in all the key points that we argued, that would an independent nation be like that Canada or Australia or New Zealand or India or Brazil or all these countries in the world, we will not be like them. We will effectively be a state in the European Union, run by the European Union, but perhaps with just no representation at the table.